Jared was talking about how this is kind of your time of year. Score big goals in the playoffs. Just how excited are you and this group to get done with the regular season, get on to the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's always exciting. I mean, regular season is behind us now, and I mean, it's exciting time.
You get Gabe back out there, obviously plays this weekend. Just how much of an emotional lift can that be for the group?
Yeah, I mean, for him, it's for sure a massive one. I mean, it's been a long time since he last played a game, so we were all very happy to see him back out there for sure.
Now that the Dallas matchup is set, what is the expectation for this series?
To win the series. It's going to be a tough series for sure, but win it.
And a little bit of a break before it gets started. What are the expectations for the next couple of practice days to get ready for it?
Yeah, I mean, now we're just getting ready to go, ready to play Dallas, and I mean, it's going to be a good series.
Did you text Mikko?
No. Yeah, I mean, they're a good team, and we're a good team. There's no other way of putting it. I mean, every team that gets into playoffs has earned their spot in there, and I mean, yeah.
Jared Bednar mentioned the Four Nations guys were feeling a little bit tired because they didn't quite get the same break. Was your body feeling that in the final stretch?
Yes and no, maybe a few, like, day here and there, but I mean, yeah, we're all good.
How have you appreciated the depth that has been loaded up following the deadline?
Yeah, I mean, we got a great team here, and it's it's exciting to go into playoffs.
Yeah, it's good. Have everybody hopefully healthy here, and have some good practices and get ready to go.
How big a boost might Gabe's return be for this team in the postseason?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, his presence around the team is felt in a lot of different ways. So it'd be really nice to get him back. But yeah, we'll see how it all goes.
Finally got a chance to get up and see your brother play. How was it?
It was great. First time I've seen him play since live, at least since probably like midget. So it's been a while, and yeah, really exciting. They have a really great setup there. My first time down there, so really cool to kind of get the feel for that. And I know he's really excited, and yeah.
What was it like to see Gabe play in that first game?
Yeah, it was cool. Obviously, it's insane that you're coming back 3 years without even playing a single game. So there's going to be some rusts and kinks to work out, and but all you can hope for is that he's feeling good, and kind of move from there.
You played with McKenzie for a bit now. What makes you believe he's ready for this moment, the playoffs? That's kind of the only thing missing from his resume.
Yeah, I mean, he's shown game in, game out this year that he's been really solid for us, and then when we got him, he was incredible. And I think for us defensively, it's just we got to help him out as much as we can. Playoffs is so big for that, and but again, it's nice to have a guy like that can be a backbone for us when we need him.
What makes Dallas so challenging? Is it the board? Is it physicality? What is it about that makes them challenging?
Everything. They're good at all aspects of the game, defensively, and then offensively they capitalize. They're a very opportunistic team, and you give them the littlest things, they're going to find ways to put it in the net. So,
I mean, that's why he's I think, a leader in the position he's in.
Two goalies that have never started a playoff run. Is too much made sometimes of playoff experience at this time of year?
Yeah, you can play it any which way you want, really. You know, I had no clue, and it wasn't like I was, oh no, you know, it's like these guys are good goaltenders. Seeing it more and more, being around the room and playing with them here, what they're capable of and how they keep us in games. They've come up a number of times since I've been here. But yeah, you can look at that and any which way you want and make a story, you know. So it's not like they're coming in, they're 20 years old, or you know, they've been around the game, they've played games, and they know what it's like.
Just overall thoughts on, like, now you're locked into Dallas, you're starting on the road, just overall thoughts on that series, what it's going to be like.
It'll be tough. It'll be a tough one. It's one that we're pretty excited to start. Like, playoffs are the best time of year because of how hard it is to win. And usually that first round is the toughest to get out of, right? And I don't think this one will be any different. Playing against a good Dallas team has been really good all year. all the firepower they have and what they bring, what they're capable of. So we have to be ready to go, make sure we bring a really, really solid game. But you face them enough during the year. At least these guys did.
Well, a little bit of everything. Little rest, little mental preparation, some good practices. Probably get some more rest at the end of the week and gear up and get ready to go. It's actually should be a perfect scenario for us, especially with some of the guys that we got out with injuries. They still got a little bit of time.
Ryan and Pat.
I know you talked about it a little bit over the weekend, but successful conditioning stint for Landeskog. What's it like watching that unfold, seeing how he comes out of it, and then having him here at practice at the end of it?
Number one, it's exciting that he's back and playing. I'm really happy for him. I know it's been a long road. Number two, I think it's exciting for us because it may give us another option here when we get to the weekend and start playing playoff games. So see how he responds this week and see how it all goes. But to have another player of his caliber possibly being ready to go is only a positive one from my mind.
Pat?
I mean, there's no easy into the playoffs, obviously, but it just seems the road in the Western Conference this year is particularly difficult. How difficult is it facing Dallas and what they bring in the first round matchup?
Yeah, it's difficult, but that's the new NHL, right? It's league likes it that way. You're getting long, hard-fought series right out of the gate. You're getting top teams matching up in different divisions, and so it certainly makes it difficult. But I mean, that's the road that we have. So we finished where we finished. They finished where they are. Playing a really good team, one of the top teams in the league right away. And if we're fortunate enough to advance, we'll have to do it again 3 more times likely. So looking forward to the matchup. You got to get out of the gate, you got to play well right away, and you're going to have to play your best hockey for 2 weeks in order to win.
Troy, then Eric.
Coach, when I talked to you earlier in the year about the new goalies, they gave you reliability, you kind of knew what to expect. What is it about McKenzie specifically that makes you feel like he's ready for the moment and the pressure of the playoffs? One thing kind of missing on his resume.
Yeah, I just think it's, you are what you repeatedly do, and he's been really good for us. So you watch him play, you watch what he brings to the table when it comes to size, ability. He's a veteran guy with lots of experience, even though he hasn't been in the playoffs, and I think that can continue to translate into playoff hockey. I mean, he's been good in big games for us. He's been good in all situations, and we feel like that you just keep doing what you're doing and you'll be just fine.
Eric.
Jared, over the last whatever it's been, months since the trade deadline, you've talked a lot about the center depth and what they've brought, and specifically Charlie Coyle. Even before his offensive production, it was a lot of his face-offs and his two-way play and all that. But now that he's starting to produce the way that he is, he has a lot of playoff experience. Do you see him kind of as an X factor in your lineup?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Since he's been here, actually, and because of all those reasons you just stated, I think it becomes even more important, that depth that we added when you're playing a team like Dallas. Because from night to night, I couldn't tell you what their first line is, right? Is it Hintz, Robertson, and Mikko? One night carries their team to victory. The next night it's Ben and Johnston, and the next night it's Duchesne, Marchment, and Seguin. So those 3 lines and the way they produce and the way they play, and pretty equally distributed throughout the course of games. They all play their own certain situations, but all 3 of those lines play a lot, and they're all really dangerous lines. So we're going to need to be able to use all of our depth in order to win against them. It's just that simple, because you can't cover off one line with a matchup and then fail in the others, right? So we're going to need our depth. We're going to need them all to play well, and I think Charlie and Nelly both have big roles to play in that.
Jesse, then Megan.
You're not going to talk about it too much, but that depth, we saw a lot of guys out this last week. A lot of them were on the ice today. You guys are feeling pretty positive about having close to a full lineup come Saturday?
We are hoping so, yeah. We'll see what the week brings, but I think tomorrow's practice will tell us a lot and how guys respond coming out of that.
Megan?
What are some similarities and differences of the Dallas team that you saw in the playoffs last year and the Dallas team you're expecting from now on?
Yeah, well, the depth scoring, their forward group, that's I'd say the biggest similarity. I think they were a dangerous team last year offensively, and they're a dangerous team again this year. They finished top 6 in goals for and goals against this season, so kind of when you look at the analytics from last year, same kind of thing. You know, they've struggled a little bit here recently keeping the puck out of their net, but I think that's part of just where they were in the standings and, you know, the circumstances that they're in, sort of comfortably in that second spot. And I expect them to bounce back and that it'll be a hard-fought series. So I think in areas of our game that we should be better than we were last year. And it was a hard-fought series, and you look at the analytics in that series and how tight every game was. Pretty close series, ended in 6, and we were on the short end of that, so we have to be, you know, incrementally better in a few different areas.
Ryan, then Bailey again.
I know you said we'll see how the week goes for Gabe in particular, but at this point, is there sort of a plan, like ramp up to a potential game 1, or is it just we'll see when we get?
Yeah, we'll see. You know, I got to make lineup decisions too. So at some point here, and we're talking about a bunch of different scenarios. So then it could be ramp up for game 1, maybe not. We'll just have to see how the week goes.
Okay.
From November to January to March, you guys have had a lot of new guys come into this group. Do you feel like they've assimilated and found the identity of this group at this point?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think for a long stretch after the break or after the trade deadline, everyone gets in. There's a little bit of a feeling out period, and then we played some really good hockey. We've seen flashes of that even over the last couple of weeks with guys in and out of the lineup. It's given us some opportunities to keep experimenting with our lines and see who's playing well together, and we certainly have some guys ramping up here for the playoffs, Coyle being one of them, which is really good to see when it comes to the offensive side of things. So guys are rested. I think we feel pretty good about it, and we'll start our prep as a team tomorrow.
A few last ones, Evan.
Marty has a lot of playoff experience in Carolina, but his numbers are not as quite as what they are in the regular season. Do you go back and look at what kind of worked for him, what didn't work, or do you kind of just give him a fresh plate going forward?
Fresh plate, but I know what worked for him already and what doesn't. It's the same thing that works for him and what doesn't in regular season. So we've had some discussions on his play and what he needs to do, because I think he can be a huge X factor in this series.
Pat, and then Troy.
I know you've already faced Mikko once, but is it kind of almost surreal given what he's contributed to you in the playoffs in the past? He's on the other side now.
Yeah. It's going to be different, you know, but that's his new home, and it's going to be his new home for 8 years. So that's the life of pro hockey sometimes, in the business side of it. So he's going to be a big factor in this series. And but again, it's not just one player and one line. It's, you know, a pretty deep team over there that we have to deal with.
Last one, Troy.
Health willing with Gabe, when you make a decision like that, is it based on just what he could bring on the ice, or does the intangible of his leadership that guys talk about that resonates so much, is that part of the decision as well, of what it would mean for him, to them mentally, to see him out there?
Yeah, I think that has to play a small role, but the decision has to be mainly on what he can do for us on the ice. Yeah. But I do think you have to take everything into account when you talk about putting them in the lineup.